Welcome back to the channel BBC Coin. Today, we are diving deep into the mystery of the 1983 1-cent coin, especially those with no mint mark or confusing mint mark variations, and why collectors are paying serious money for them. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you might want to check every coin you own. First, let's understand what makes the 1983 penny so interesting. The year 1983 was not just another year for US coins. It was actually a transition period in coin history. The United States Mint changed the composition of pennies from mostly copper to zinc with a thin copper coating due to rising metal costs. That means most 1983 pennies you'll find today are lightweight zinc coins. But here's where things get exciting. A few rare coins from 1983 were accidentally struck using the old copper planchets. These rare mistakes turned ordinary pennies into high-value collectibles worth thousands of dollars. Now imagine finding one of those by accident. Let's talk about the no mint mark mystery. Many people believe that a coin with no mint mark is rare. But here's the truth. Coins without a mint mark were actually made in Philadelphia, and millions, actually billions, were produced. So normally, a 1983 penny with no mint mark is only worth a few cents. But don't click away just yet, because the real value doesn't come from the missing mint mark alone. It comes from errors, rare conditions, and tiny details that most people completely overlook. Now let's reveal how a 1983 penny can reach $1,200 or more. There are three main factors that can turn your coin into a jackpot. Number 1. Condition. Coins are graded from poor condition all the way up to mint state, meaning they look almost brand new. A 1983 penny in average condition? Worth maybe a few cents. But a coin in MS68 or near perfect condition can sell for hundreds, or even over $1,000 depending on demand. That's right. Condition alone can turn pocket change into serious money. Number 2. Rare errors. This is where things get really exciting. Some 1983 pennies have what collectors call error varieties. For example, double die reverse errors, where the letters look doubled. Off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned. Filled die errors, where parts of the design look faded or missing. And the most valuable of all, the 1983 copper penny error. This rare coin can be worth over $10,000 in some cases. Why? Because it wasn't supposed to exist. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most talked about modern coins in the United States, the 1989 Liberty 1-cent coin. And yes, some of these coins have sold for over $1,200 and even much more under the right conditions. Before you ignore that old penny lying around in your drawer, watch this video till the end, because you might already own a hidden treasure. Let's start with the basics. The 1989 1-cent coin is part of the Lincoln Memorial Series, one of the most widely circulated coins in US history. In fact, billions of these coins were produced in 1989 alone, making them seem very common at first glance. But here's the twist. Not all 1989 pennies are the same. Some have mint marks, and some don't. And that small detail can make a huge difference. Now, what exactly is a no mint mark coin? If your 1989 penny has no letter below the date, it means it was minted in Philadelphia. These coins were produced in massive numbers, over 7 billion pieces. So normally, you would expect it to be worth just 1 cent. But collectors don't just look at quantity. They look at condition, rarity, and errors. And that's where things get interesting. Let's talk about value. In average circulated condition, a 1989 no mint mark penny is worth just face value, or maybe a few cents at most. But when we move into higher grades, everything changes. Uncirculated coins with bright red luster, known as red coins, can sell for anywhere from a few dollars to over $100 depending on condition. And then, there are the extreme cases. One high-grade 1989 no mint mark penny reached over $4,000 at auction because of its near-perfect condition. Yes, from 1 cent to thousands. Now let's talk about the 1989 D penny. This coin was minted in Denver and carries a small D below the date. Again, millions, actually billions, were produced. So most of them are still worth just 1 cent. But here's where the magic happens. In 2025, a 1989 D penny graded at an ultra-rare MS69 condition sold for an incredible $8,400. Let that sink in. $8,400 for a penny. So why are some of these coins so valuable? There are three major reasons. First, condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. The closer a coin is to perfection, the more valuable it becomes. Second, rarity. Even common coins can become rare if only a few exist in perfect condition. Third, errors. And this is where things get really exciting. Some 1989 pennies were struck with minting errors. For example, today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern coins in American history, the 1994 Liberty 1-cent coin. A coin so common, yet in rare cases, so valuable, that collectors are willing to pay serious money for it. Let's uncover the truth. First, what exactly is the 1994 Liberty 1-cent coin? This coin is part of the famous Lincoln Penny series, featuring President Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. It was designed by Victor David Brenner and Frank Gasparro, making it one of the most recognizable coins in the United States. Now here's where things get interesting. In 1994, the United States Mint produced billions of these coins. In fact, more than 6.5 billion were made in Philadelphia alone, and over 7.1 billion were struck in Denver. So naturally, you might be thinking, how can something so common be worth over $1,200? Great question. The answer lies in three powerful factors: condition, rarity, and errors. Let's start with mint marks. If your 1994 penny has no mint mark, it means it was made in Philadelphia. If it has a small D under the year, it was minted in Denver. Most of these coins, whether they have a D or no mint mark, are only worth 1 cent in everyday condition. Yes, just 1 cent. But don't click away just yet, because some of these coins are not ordinary. When a 1994 penny is found in uncirculated condition, meaning it has never been used and still shines like new, its value increases significantly. For example, a typical uncirculated 1994D penny can be worth around 10 to 30 cents, but in extremely high grades, it is sold for hundreds of dollars. Now here's where things explode. The rarest and most perfect versions of the 1994 penny, graded near flawless, have reached values of thousands of dollars. In fact, one top-grade example has been valued as high as $13,000 depending on condition and grading. Yes, you heard that right. From 1 cent to over $10,000. But wait, there's more. Let's talk about the magic word in coin collecting: errors. Error coins are like mistakes that slip through the mint, and collectors love them. Some 1994 pennies have rare features like double designs, misaligned strikes, missing details, or unusual lettering. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most talked about modern coins in the world of coin collecting, the 1998 United States Liberty 1-cent coin with no mint mark. At first glance, it looks completely ordinary. You've probably seen it hundreds of times, maybe even spent it without a second thought. But what if I told you that hidden among millions of these coins are rare treasures that collectors are willing to pay big money for? Let's uncover the truth. The 1998 Lincoln penny, also known as the Liberty 1-cent coin, features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, a design that has been part of American history for over a century. On the back, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, symbolizing unity and national pride. Now here's where things get interesting. If your 1998 penny has no mint mark, that means it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. And here's a shocking fact: over 5 billion of these coins were made that year. Yes, billions. So you might be thinking, how can something so common be worth over $1,000? That's the mystery and the excitement of coin collecting. Because while most of these coins are only worth 1 cent, a few rare versions are incredibly valuable. Let's break it down. Most 1998 no-mint mark pennies that you find in your pocket or coin jar are extremely common. In fact, in circulated condition, they're usually worth exactly 1 cent. Even in better condition, many are only worth a few cents, maybe 10 to 30 cents if they look brand new. But here's where things change completely. If your coin is in perfect condition, something collectors call mint state, its value can skyrocket. There are documented cases where a 1998 penny with no mint mark, graded at an extremely high level, has sold for thousands of dollars at auction. One example reached an incredible price of $5,800. Now imagine finding something like that in your pocket change. But condition alone is not the only factor. There's something even more important: Today, we are uncovering the truth behind one of the most talked about modern coins in the United States, the 2000 Liberty 1-cent coin with no mint mark. Could it really be worth $1,200 or more? Or is there more to the story that collectors don't always tell you? Let's dive deep into the mystery, the hype, and the real value behind this fascinating coin. First, let's understand what this coin actually is. The 2001-cent coin is part of the famous Lincoln Memorial penny series, featuring Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. These coins were produced in massive quantities around the year 2000, the beginning of a new millennium. Now here's where things get interesting. Some of these coins do not have a mint mark. Many people think this means the coin is rare or an error. But in reality, a missing mint mark on a 2000 penny simply means it was minted in Philadelphia. This is completely normal because Philadelphia coins often didn't carry a mint mark on pennies. So right away, we need to bust a huge myth. A 2000 penny with no mint mark is not automatically rare. In fact, over 5.5 billion of these coins were produced, making it one of the most common coins in circulation. Yes, billions. So if it's so common, how are people claiming it's worth $1,200 or more? That's where condition, rarity factors, and hidden details come into play. Let's talk about value. Most 2000 no-mint mark pennies you'll find in your pocket are worth exactly what you expect, 1 cent. Maybe a few cents more if they're in decent shape. Even uncirculated coins, meaning coins that were never used, usually sell for just a few dollars, often between $1 and $20 depending on quality. So clearly, not every coin is worth a fortune. But here's the twist. Some rare examples of this coin have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, and that's what's fueling all the excitement online. So what makes a 2000 no-mint mark penny valuable? There are 3 main factors. Number 1. Condition. In the coin collecting world, condition is everything. Coins are graded on a scale, and the highest grades, like MS68 or MS69, represent coins that are nearly perfect. These coins have
no scratches, no wear,
full original shine, perfect details. Coins like this are extremely rare, even if billions were made. In fact, one near-perfect 2000 penny sold for over $3,200 at auction, simply because of its flawless condition. That's how a 1-cent coin becomes a collector's dream. Number 2. Color and luster. Collectors love coins that still have their original bright red copper color. These are labeled as red coins and are far more valuable than dull brown ones. A shiny, untouched coin can be worth many times more than a worn-out one. Number 3. Errors and rare varieties. This is where things get really exciting. Some 2000 pennies have special minting errors, small mistakes that occurred during production. These errors are rare, and collectors are willing to pay big money for them. One famous example is the wide AM variety, where the letters A and M in the word America are spaced farther apart than usual. Another rare type is the so-called Cheerios penny, which was included in cereal boxes as a promotion and can be worth hundreds or even over $1,000 in top condition. These rare variations are the real reason some 2000 pennies reach high prices. Now let's address the big claim. Is the 2000 no-mint mark penny really worth $1,200? The honest answer is, sometimes, but very rarely. A regular circulated coin? No. An average uncirculated coin? Still no. But a perfect condition coin with a rare feature or certified high grade? Yes, it could absolutely reach or exceed $1,200. But here's the catch. Finding one is extremely difficult. Out of billions of coins, only a tiny fraction meet the strict standards required to reach that value. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most talked about coins among collectors, the 2002 United States Liberty 1-cent coin with no mint mark. And here's the surprising part. Some people believe its value can start from $1,200. But is that really true? Let's uncover the truth, step by step. First, let's understand what this coin actually is. The 2002 1-cent coin belongs to the famous Lincoln Memorial series, one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. On the front side, you'll see Abraham Lincoln's portrait, calm, powerful, and iconic. Next to him, the word Liberty. Above his head, In God We Trust. And on the back, the majestic Lincoln Memorial Building, a symbol of American unity and history. This design has been in circulation for decades, making it familiar to millions. Now, here's where things get interesting. You might notice something missing on this coin. There's no mint mark.
No D.
No S. Nothing. And that's exactly why many people think it's rare. But here's the reality. A missing mint mark on a 2002 penny is not actually an error. It simply means the coin was made in Philadelphia, where coins traditionally didn't carry a mint mark for cents. In fact, more than 3.2 billion of these coins were produced, making them extremely common. So right away, we understand something important. This coin is not rare just because it has no mint mark. Now you might be wondering, if it's so common, then how can people claim it's worth $1,200? Here's the truth most videos won't tell you. The value of a coin doesn't depend only on the year or mint mark. It depends on three powerful factors: condition, rarity, and errors. Let's break that down. First, condition. Most 2002 pennies you find today have been used for years. They're scratched, worn, dull. Coins like these are usually worth just face value, 1 cent. But if you find one in perfect condition, what collectors call mint state, its value can increase. In some cases, high-grade coins have sold for tens or even hundreds of dollars. Second, rarity. Even though billions were made, not all coins survive in perfect condition. The higher the grade, the rarer it becomes. For example, coins graded at extremely high levels like MS-68 or MS-69 are very difficult to find.